What's going on, friends, and welcome back to My Shitty Kitchen. You guys have been asking for a cookie recipe for a while now, and I figured it was time to deliver on that. Plus, I kind of feel like every cooking channel needs its own cookie video. This is mainly because there are so many different ways to make them. My mom has her own recipe, your mom probably does, hell, you may even have your own, and that's the wonderful thing about cookies. If you use the right techniques and your ingredient ratios aren't crazy, it's really hard to make a bad cookie. Today though, I'm going to be using a recipe that my buddy John uses all the time. It's pretty simple, it doesn't require any crazy ingredients, and it makes nice, consistent cookies. So let's jump into the prep. Using a kitchen scale, you'll want to measure out 185 grams of all-purpose flour, 125 grams of butter, and 165 grams of brown sugar. You'll also need a 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, 1 large egg, and your favorite chocolate chips. What we're using today is something called the creaming method. Essentially how it works is you'll cream your sugar and butter together, then add your wet ingredients followed by the dry ingredients. This method is used in everything from buttercream icing to quadruple layer fudge cakes. First, make sure your butter is at room temperature. If you poke a finger into it, you should be easily able to smush it. Never microwave your butter or melt it for this procedure. Just leave it out to soften at room temperature for about 20 minutes. Put your softened butter into a bowl and add your sugar. Mix them together with an electric mixer and make sure you get it everywhere and make a huge mess. That's actually really important. What we're doing here is trying to increase the volume of the butter. We add sugar at this stage because the granules are rough and cut little holes into the butter that allow air to enter, and this makes the whole thing creamy and fluffy. This process is way easier and you'll get more consistent results with a stand mixer like KitchenAid or something like that, but if you're like me, you don't have $300 lying around to afford one, so we gotta use the electric mixer. Anyway, when this is done, it'll look a little like the start of buttercream icing. If you touch the batter, it'll feel grainy, but you won't be able to see the sugar really. When it reaches this point, it's time to add your eggs. This particular batch we're making here is pretty small and only requires 1 egg, but if you're doubling this, it's very important that you add your eggs and incorporate them into the batter one at a time. What we're doing here is emulsifying 2 different fats together, one from the butter, the other from the egg. If you add too many eggs at once, you run the risk of everything separating and turning into a nasty curdled mess. Add your vanilla extract at this point, and once you've gotten that all mixed into your batter, you can go ahead and start adding your dry ingredients. This is where our baking soda, flour, and a pinch of salt come in. If you're using a stand mixer, keep your paddle on low speed and slowly let it fold in the dry ingredients a little at a time. If you're going by hand like I am, use a rubber spatula to fold in the dry ingredients. Keep going like this until you start getting something that resembles cookie dough. Once you're good on that, you can then add any chocolate chips or other add-ins that you're using. Just make sure to fold these in just like you did with the flour. Lastly, preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, lightly grease a baking tray, and spoon your dough out onto it. Set your favorite hair dryer to 10 minutes and bam, there you go. Awesome chocolate chip cookies. When you pull these out, they may be a little soft in the middle depending on how long you baked them for. Just give them a few minutes to set up and you'll be good to go. And there you have it, super easy chocolate chip cookies. That's gonna do it for me today though, guys. Before I go, I wanna give a big shout out to my buddy Asian John for hooking me up with this recipe. If you guys make these or anything else, don't forget to send me pictures on Twitter at My Shitty Kitchen. I love seeing you guys explore food. Until next time though, I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.